Coventry City avoided relegation last season, finishing 15th. There was a main group of players that led to them being safe, but we got to add to that group in this episode. Welcome back to Season 3 of the Coventry City rebuild. This is the team that guided us to safety in the Premier League, and we finished in 15th position. As we have been developing, Kone, obviously, I think the player of the season last year, he's an 80 overall. We have Van Eric, who's an 80, and Atubolo, who's an 80 as well. But there are definitely some holes in this team. Really looking at the center backs there, Ricardo Santos plays much better than his 70 overall would suggest. In game, he's an absolute beast. But maybe an upgrade on the left side. We have Bobby Thomas, who's injured at the moment for the next couple months, I believe it is. And probably some help on the left wing as well. Unfortunately, we do not have a lot of money to get these upgrades, but so we might have to sell off some players first. Like I was just saying, inexplicably, we only have a budget of £32 million. Last season, the board gave us 61. I'm not sure why it's so low this time around, but this is all we have to work with at the beginning of Season 3. So a player we're looking to bring in to strengthen the squad is someone who's electrified the Premier League before, and it's Alain Saint-Maximin. We can see he's going to come slot in for us. We paid $23 million. We'll see if that was a good deal. They were very firm with that price. And it only gets a C. They would not drop anywhere under 23-1. He's 80 overall, which is really nice. That'll help with our squad for sure. And he'll definitely jump in to that left wing position. He'll even get a bonus overall playing left wing, which is nice. The only downside is costing £23.1 million. He basically ate up all of the transfer budget that we have. So if we're going to look to add anything else to our team, we'll probably have to make a few sales first. And here is an absolutely massive move with not having the funds available for a buy. We have somehow secured Mile Skriniar from PSG on a 1-year loan. We'll definitely take that at the moment. What a huge signing. So we've loaned him in for 12 months. No obligation to buy. But as you can see there, huge 81 overall as a center back. So we now have a big name in our central defender position. Got good experience, so we'll add him to the team sheet right now. So after the two big signings of Saint-Maximin and Skriniar, both those guys will go right into the starting 11. We have another quick change of changing Saint-Maximin to a left winger, so that gained him 1 overall immediately. And another quick change is a new captain going into this season as Manu Kone takes over the armband after the fantastic season he had last year. We did actually end up selling some players. Justin Obikwu for $550k, nothing too big there. Brad Collins went to Cardiff for $1.4 million, and Brandon Thomas Asante went to River Plate for $4.5 mil. So we will have a little bit of extra budget to work with, but because we got Skriniar on loan, we can use that for hopefully a bigger signing come the January transfer window. Taking a quick look here at our youth academy, nothing much has changed. We haven't signed anybody over the offseason, so it's still business as usual. The only thing we'll take a look here is Dylan Cairns, still got that 92 to 94 potential. Hopefully we'll get a chance to use this guy at some point, but as I did learn, you cannot promote anybody who's under 16 to the main club. I don't think that option was there last year to promote to the senior team if they were under 16, but or maybe they were, it just could be me. But at the same time, we will still be waiting on Dylan Cairns for now. Taking a look at the calendar, no disrespect to Wolves, Bournemouth, and Brentford, but a much more friendly start to this year, like we had last year with Chelsea and Liverpool right away. A very early Carabao Cup match against Bournemouth. And then getting into the second month of the season, Leicester, Ipswich, and Manchester United. So it's going to be imperative to get off to a quick start this time around. Hopefully we can rack up some early points. So without any further ado, let's jump into the highlights. So the first game of the season saw Coventry travel to Wolves for a big game and try to get off to a good start to avoid a relegation battle. And there you can see the new captain, Manu Kone, leading Coventry onto the pitch. The first chance of the game would come to Haji Wright, who hits the post and somehow doesn't go in. Unfortunately, it stays 0-0. Later in that first half, a good chance would fall to another new man, Saint-Maximin, whose header just goes wide. And unfortunately, you know it, if you don't take advantage of your chances, the opposition will torch you. And Mateus Cunha here slots it by Asubol to make it 1-0 Wolves. Alex Saint-Maximin would actually go off injured in this first game, which is really unfortunate. And then Mason Clark, his substitute, would come on, has a great chance to tie the game, and his shot goes wide of the post, and that means Coventry lose their first game of the season. After back-to-back wins against Bournemouth, and then back-to-back 0-0 draws, we'll jump to Ipswich here to see if we can get a better result and keep moving up the table. As you can see there, it's Ben Sheaf who's leading the team out because Manu Kone is injured right now for a few weeks. But luckily, after all those 4 games, Saint-Maximin is cleared again and back in the squad. It would be right before halftime that Saint-Maximin would send a ball in to Haji Wright, who is going to go down right by the keeper, really not close up by the defender, puts it near post to make it 1-0 Coventry. With about 15 minutes to go, Rudoni would wait, pull at the D, and then send in Lorenzo Luca, who slots it by the Ipswich keeper to make it 2-0, and that would be a big win for Coventry City and Brendan Rodgers. Next up, a real test here. First place Manchester United coming to the CBS Stadium. It was a great game in the FA Cup last year. We'll see if it can be that again. And it's going to be Haji Wright who's played in on goal and scores past Onana to make it 1-1. Becoming kind of a Manchester United killer here in this series is Haji Wright. Mason Clark be coming down this left wing. He's absolutely taken out. Easy pen call for the referee. And of course, you know it's going to be Haji Wright who steps up. He's going to take his time and he is going to put it right in the top corner, making it 2-0 Coventry City. Into the second half, it would be 2 substitutes that put it away, as Saint-Maximin will get behind the defense, and instead of taking it on, he'll be unselfish and send it to Norman Bassett, who scores his first goal for Coventry City, securing the 3-0 win for Coventry over Manchester. And now, right before we check the midway point of the table, we'll focus on the Carabao Cup, where we made it into the quarter-finals. And right now we're playing Plymouth, who've gone really far for them. And unfortunately, it's a mistake at the back that's going to have Lorenzo Luca bully his man off the ball and slot it by the Plymouth keeper to make it 1-0. And then a bad pass leads to a turnover. It's Peter Chadwick who finds Luca, who's going to play it one more time to Sakamoto, who makes it 2-0 Coventry City. With just over 10 minutes to go, it would be a great save by Dovin, a double save by Dovin, and then unfortunately the ball is cleared off a Plymouth player to make it 2-1. Thankfully, though, we'd still hold on, and we're into the semifinals. Let's see where we're at the midway point. So here we are at the midway point of the season. As you can see, we're in 8th place, 13 points behind first place Spurs, and I think winning the league is pretty much off the table. But as you can see, 4th place West Ham sitting at 34 points. Maybe Champions League is not a crazy dream at this point. It's been a great first half of the season. We hope to build on that going forward. Looking at the Carabao Cup, we have given some focus to cup competitions this year, and we are in the semi-finals against Spurs. I was going to say it's a bit of a fairy tale for us, but taking a look, you can see Crew Alexandria there, and with all due respect to Crew, that's probably a huge result just getting to the semi-finals for them. So this will obviously be a big focus for us going forward in the season. Taking a look at the calendar, we have an absolutely packed January with 7 games to play from now till the 31st. And obviously for me, the big one is the first tie against Spurs, the home cup tie. We're probably going to sim that one because we'll join the highlights after the transfer window and we'll play that second leg. Hopefully we can advance. Jumping back to January, as you can see there, they're back-to-back games versus Brentford. I don't think I'm going to give any focus to the FA Cup this year because I'm going all in on the Carabao Cup to hopefully bring back 1 trophy this season. Taking a look at our transfer history, there's a few players that left the club. As you can see here, Borges Rodriguez, Jack Burrows, and Mason Clark all left after the summer window closed. So they all left as of January 1st. So now we got to plug some holes here because all these guys were depth, but at the same time, probably look to fill these holes with free agents, and then with the money we have left, try to make a bigger signing. And with those departures, you can see that we have $27 million left in the bank. I'm probably going to have about $3 million of that go to the players who will be filling the holes of the guys who left, and then have at least a $20 million signing come into the team right away. The first signing that's coming in is Olivier Mbezo. He's going to be coming in for right back coverage behind Van Ewijk. A free agent signing, so obviously we're going to get the A rated for transfer business. But that's no big deal there. We just need some extra coverage in this squad. It's looking a bit thin. The next signing that's coming in is midfielder Josh Benson. Again, just for some added coverage, the squad was looking pretty thin, and again on a free transfer. Benson comes in at 66 overall rated, so again, no chance of going into the starting lineup right away, but will play some cup competition and when some of the starters need some rest. And here is the big signing that we're going to hope is going to help our team. It's center midfielder James Ward-Prowse. We got him for a swap deal for Joel Latibaudiere and £5.5 million. Joel was not playing day-to-day for us, so it's an A rating for the transfer. Excellent deal. James Ward-Prowse is getting up there in age, but can still do a lot from set pieces. Great passer of the ball, so I think he'll help our squad a lot. Taking a look at the stats at the midway point, and it's Alain Saint-Maximin who has 12 goals and 10 assists for 22 goal contributions. We love to see that from our big signing in the offseason. Hadji Wright has 11 goals again. Lorenzo Luca has 8, and Manu Kone has 5 goals and 8 assists. So still some pretty good stats coming in here, and of course it's the nucleus again that's carrying this Coventry City squad. So after the transfer moves, this is the team sheet now. James Ward-Prowse slots into the starting 11 with Rudoni giving up that spot for now. And hopefully this will be the team that can carry us to the Carabao Cup and maybe even a top 4 finish. Now without any further ado, let's jump back to the highlights for the second half of the season. So we start at the second leg of the Carabao Cup away at Tottenham Hotspur. This is not going to be an easy game, but it's all there to fight for. And it would be Coventry City who get the first chance of the game, as it would be Sakamoto who's played in, and he's going to slot it by Vicario to make it 1-0 Coventry, 3-2 on aggregate. Tottenham would have a great chance here, as it's Bruno Fernandes who's unselfish, passes to Dejan Kulusevski, but he puts his shot wide. Still 3-2 Coventry. And then a few moments later, it's going to be Solanke who gets by a mess at the back, but puts his effort off the post. And that would be Tottenham's 2 best chances, as it's Coventry City who will be moving on to the final of the Carabao Cup. Jumping back to the Premier League, this was a huge game. It's 4th place Coventry against 5th place West Ham United. Coventry would have a corner here looking for Lorenzo Luca. It's dealt with initially by West Ham, but the ball is then cleared to Sakamoto, who puts in a great delivery. Luca uses his strength, chests it down, and volleys it past the keeper to make it 1-0. Into the second half, it would be only 3 minutes into the second half as a couple of 1-2s are played, and it's 1-1 as Somerville ties the game, and that's how that one would end. A disappointing result being up 1-0, but a draw at that stage is still not bad at all. Jumping to the finals of the Carabao Cup, and it is Crewe Alexandra who made it all the way to the finals. They beat Liverpool 6-4 on aggregate, and now it's all to fight for here in the finals of the Carabao Cup. Just before the 15-minute mark, it's going to be Saint-Maximin who gets around one defender, and then I'm not even sure which one the foul is on there, but a clumsy challenge from 2 defenders is the penalty for Coventry. And it's going to be Ward-Prowse who steps up, and an absolutely perfect penalty off the post and in makes it 1-0 Coventry. And just before the 90 minutes, it's going to be Manu Kone who's going to slip in Norman Bassett, who puts it by the keeper to make it 2-0 and sealing the win for Coventry City. It's our first big trophy since the EFL Championship, getting us back to the Premier League. The Carabao Cup win is absolutely huge for Coventry City. And of course, it's going to be Manu Kone, the captain, who's going to be lifting this trophy. A big, big win, and he played a huge part in this championship win. However, there's still lots of work to do in the Premier League, so jumping back there, it's going to be a game against 15th place Leeds. And it would be Leeds, actually, who gets off the mark first, and they put it by Atsubolu to make it 1-0 Leeds. A bit of a hangover game here, because this was the first game after our Carabao Cup win, and it kind of showed as a little slouch there, but it's going to be Pirro who's played in, couldn't switch to the left back Lewis, and then it's 2-0 Leeds. We'd get one back late. Here's a nice ball by Kone's played over the top to Hadji Wright, but it would be too little too late, and we'd lose that one 2-1. And then the biggest test of them all at this point in time was first place Manchester City away, and it's going to be City here who got Matthias Tell. Big save by Atubolu. This game showed that we still do have a lot of work to do, as all these highlights are going to be on the Coventry City keeper. And luckily for us, it would be Atubolo who would come up big on all 3 of these occasions. As you can see there's the 3rd save. I was all but before the half-hour mark. This game would end 0-0, and let's see how that had us sitting at the end of the season. So here we are at the end of the season. We just missed out on a top 4 finish. And I have to say, though, finishing 5th overall from 15th is a huge increase, so I'll definitely take that, as we had a much better goal differential than Arsenal, so I do think we still qualify for European football, which is nice. Taking a look at some of the stats here, Haji Wright led the way again with 21 goals. Saint-Maximin had a great contribution of 18 goals, 14 assists. Manu Kone as well, 11 goals, 22 assists. And then a funny one here is Norman Bassett. We've seen him pop up with a few goals every now and then, but apparently he had 7 goals in 3 Premier League appearances, so maybe we should take a look at him for next season. Leading the way with the Golden Boot was Erling Haaland with 23 goals, followed by Anthony Gordon. Haji Wright finished 4th. In assist, Manu Kone with 18 and Saint-Maximin with 12, so love to see that. And clean sheets, Atubolo was there with 7, but is 2 behind the league leader Andre Onana. Liverpool had a chance at the double, but they lost the FA Cup to Man City on penalties. And we know that Coventry City were huge victorious in their Carabao Cup tournament, beating Crew Alexandria, the shock opponents who made it all the way to the finals. For the Champions League, it was Borussia Dortmund who won the title, 7-6 on penalties against PSG. It was PSV who were 1-0 victors over Napoli for the Europa League. And Tottenham Hotspur actually won something in the Conference League, beating Besiktas 2-0. Taking a look at our youth academy, a few bodies have been added, but again, still the main focus is the man down here, Dylan Cairns, who is now 16. He's 61 overall, so maybe we can look to promote him in next season. And lastly, as you can see, there's been a lot of development. Kone is now 83 overall. Van Ewijk is 82. Atubolo is 83. Skriniar picked up an injury with a few games to go. He missed out on that Man City game and the rest of the season after that. Saint-Maximin stayed solid at 81, but I think in the offseason, the focus will be the center backs. Ricardo Santos wasn't as menacing this time around, so maybe we'll put a lot of focus on the center back position going into next season. So that is what we're going to call it on this episode. If you've watched up until this point, thank you so much. If you haven't already, please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. That helps so much. As always, please leave your comments down below of who you'd like to see added to the squad. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.